Have you ever been in a relationship where you're trying so hard and no matter what you did, all your efforts were in vain and everything just went down the drain? Well, I've been there too, and it's because I wasn't armed with the knowledge that there are 5 different love languages. So, my name is Brendan Chor. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you're new to this channel, make sure you click the subscribe button. And if you're new or not, make sure you click the thumbs up. Give that little thumbs up a caress so that I can get this out to more people and share my message, because I feel like I really have a lot to share with the world, and I feel like everyone that watches my videos will benefit in some sort of way. So make sure you share this video with a loved one, and let's get into it. So, what is the 5 love languages about? It's actually a book written by Chapman. I think it was in 2012 or something like that. It doesn't really matter, but what it's about is talks about how there's 5 different modes of showing love to your partner, or even to just your friend, like best friend, or like your mom, your dad, anyone. Everyone operates and receives love through 5 different languages. So let's get straight into it. Number 1, and this is not in any order or anything, they are just how different people communicate through love. So the first one is words of affirmation, which is, we'll get into it shortly, but words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So I'd like to start off my first one, my one that I resonate with the most. So I'm just gonna jump in and say that not everyone is just purely one love language. You're either like one or the other, or you're like a bit of all of them. But most of the time, people tend to be more heavily favored in 1 or 2 love languages. So for me, I'm actually I receive love the most through physical touch and quality time. Although I still love receiving gifts, and also I love hearing that people love me, and I also love people like cutting fruit for me. I gravitate towards more like physical touch and quality time. So physical touch, obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory, but pretty much it doesn't have to be like kissing or hugging all the time, but it could be like a pat on the back, or just like a handshake, or just like a high five or something like that. Any kind of physical touch lets me know that I'm being loved in some way or form. And so what's really important about knowing what the other person's love language is that you can communicate your love to them more effectively. So imagine someone, for example, their main love language is receiving gifts, but your love language is physical touch. If you're gonna touch them, hug them all the time, and you never give them gifts, they're never gonna really feel truly loved by you, because their love language is receiving gifts. Materialistic bastard. Actually, no. Receiving gifts is not actually all about being materialistic, but it's just little things, just as like, for example, getting a drawing done for them. Like you draw a picture of them, you give it to them, that's a gift. Or you could give them the gift of, say, ice cream, or it could be an LV bag. I'm not here to judge, but yeah. So that's the main thing. So I'm kind of jumping back here and back and forth, but pretty much the whole idea is that you want to show love through their mode of love language, because everyone's different, right? And so obviously it's good if both of you guys have the same love language, but most of the times everyone is very different. So you're gonna meet someone that's like very different to you, but if you're armed with the knowledge that their love language is receiving gifts, you can give them more gifts, and then they'll feel more loved, and it's just the way it is. It makes the relationship flow that much smoother, especially in a intimate relationship. So number 1, that's physical touch. It could be like a pat on the back, it could be a handshake, it could be a hug, anything physically touching. It could be a massage, anything like that. So that's, for me, number 1. And number 2, we'll go back into quality time. That's another self-explanatory one. So imagine you're on the phone, imagine your partner love language is quality time. So imagine like you always cancel dates, imagine you're always Imagine you're always on your phone when you're with them. They're not going to feel loved because when you're around them, you're not spending quality time with them. Yeah, you're with them, but you're not spending quality time with them. You're not being fully present. So someone with the love language of quality time is going to feel more love if you're present. If you make the effort to see them very often, every now and then. That's number 2. Number 3, acts of service. This is something that my grandma she's definitely an acts of service kind of woman. Because I feel like most of the times, people show love through their love language. So for me, I show love by hugging people. I show love by high-fiving people. I show love by spending quality time with people. My grandma, it's really obvious that her love language is acts of service because she's always cutting me fruit. She's always cooking for me. She's always doing stuff for me. She's always like making my bed. She's always like cleaning my room. She's always doing things. But she probably doesn't even know it herself, but that's definitely her love language because that's what she always does. So when I wash dishes for her, she gets so happy. She's like, number 1, kalandi moy, which means like pretty much you're the best, pretty much. So I make sure to do things, to do acts of service to her, like drive her to the shops, buy some fruit and veggies with her. I know that that's her love language, so I actively try to do that and communicate that love language for her so that she can feel my love. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, words of affirmation. So, words of affirmation is pretty much it could be anything to do with words. So if someone's love language is words of affirmation, you could say, I love you, I really appreciate you. I love your hair, I love the way you look today. Like anything that's to do with words and that makes them feel good, that's their love language. So if you have a partner that has words of affirmation, just tell them how much you appreciate them every single day, and they're gonna appreciate it. That's how they're gonna feel their love. Okay, number 5, the last one, is receiving gifts. So this conveniently just happens to be my girlfriend's love language. It's number 1 love language. I think it's like 70 out of 100, and the rest are like acts of service and words of affirmation, quality time, all that kind of stuff. But that's not to say that she's materialistic. Although obviously, if I buy her stuff like a new, I don't know, purse or jacket, she'll probably enjoy it. She'll probably be really appreciative. But I found with her, like, she loves to receive like little things like snacks. Like, for example, I bought her a shirt the other day and she loved it. She was so appreciative. So receiving gifts is not always about materialism, okay? So that's the 5th one, okay? And I would like to say that, if you guys want to find out which love language you guys most resonate with, I'll drop a link below in the description. So you can do a little quick quiz that takes like less than 5 minutes, and you'll know not exactly, but like a rough estimate of like what love language dispersion or like which, because you're not going to be purely just one. You might be mostly 2, or you could be like a 5th of all 5, or you could be like heavily just 1. Everyone's different, but if you take the test, you'll know, and you'll get to use that knowledge as power. And so make sure you get your partners and your friends to do it as well. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for caressing that like button. I hope you share this with a loved one so that you can find out their love language, and stay tuned for the next video. See you tomorrow.